sometimes we get so caught up in thinking, boy, that person's a great leader. And we focus in on maybe they're born that way, or maybe, you know what, in my opinion, leaders aren't usually born that way. They're really developed. They sit down and they hone their skills. They work hard at it. It's hard to be a leader, hard to be an actual honest and effective leader. But here are some skills that we need to pay attention to. Sometimes the followers, they'll have different perceptions. They have beliefs about the features and behaviors of leaders. Sometimes they think leaders always have everything under control. They know what's going on. Sometimes I've sat in the C-suite and sometimes something happens and we all look at each other and say, huh? What's going on? Okay, just like a normal person would, but you have to sit down and give a perception that, hey, this is no big deal. We have this under control. Stop it. Okay, we can handle this. Let's go. And you got to motivate them. That's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you just have to wing it because you don't know what's going on either. But you can never sit down and pretend that you don't know what's going on and you're not leading. A lot of times people distort the leader's effect on the firm's successes or their non-successes. Leaders are not always in control of everything that happens in the environment around them or even in the organization that's around them. Sometimes there's a simpler explanation for the firm's events, and sometimes there's a need for situation control. It just depends what's going on at the moment. Here are 8 attributes of effective leaders. Personality. A lot of them they're extroverts. They just talk and they're good, friendly people. They like people. But still, introverts can often be great leaders. I've seen 3 of them in my lifetime that I've worked with that I enjoyed working for, but they really were full-blown introverts. But extroverts, they like, they're party people. They like being the center of attention. They're conscientious. They have a lot of other big 5 factors. The self-concept, you must have this as a leader because people will be happy to tear down and destroy you sometimes if they have an opportunity to. And if you don't have a good self-confidence of who you are, that you're consistent and you view yourself as a leader and have a positive self-evaluation, if the person that is most important to you in the data evaluation is you, when you look in the mirror the next day after you made a tough decision, you need to have that. If you can't do that, then you're going to always undermine yourself as a leader. The motivation of leading, okay, it's a strong need for socialized power, a strong need to sit down and have people listen to you. There's got to be a drive. That drive could be a high need of achievement. That's why I emphasized earlier for you to go ahead and take multiple different personality tests and start getting a good model of yourself, your skills, as to how you're going to respond to leaders, but also how you are going to have your own leadership style, be action-oriented, bold, have integrity. My world was as a chief business officer and a chief human resource officer, and I had to make certain that my word was my bond. That was a big deal. If I couldn't do what I said I would do, I would go back to who I talked to and tell them why I couldn't do it. Don't give your word if it's cheap. You give your word if it's worth something to you, and then if it's worth something to you, it'll be worth something to who you're talking about. You should be the epitome of integrity to be a real, true leader, because you have to be a true leader to yourself first before you can be a leader to other people. Understand the business. If you don't know the stuff, learn the stuff. You don't know what you don't know, so make certain you do know what you don't know and ask questions. Feel free to go and explore. If your first day on a new job, and make certain you open up all the doors, you go in every single nook and cranny of your division and find out who's working where, what they're doing, and look for the skeletons, because everybody hides them someplace. So have a knowledge of the business, really have a cognitive and a practical intelligence. Sometimes people get caught up in the cloud idea of, I have this vision. Okay, your vision's got to come down to earth sometime and be practical, and have a good idea of emotional intelligence. Don't overreact. Make certain people view you as calm no matter what, because that calmness will seep out through the organization and really help it focus in, especially when times are tough. Know yourself, be yourself. They call it authentic leadership. Here's the problem I have. A lot of times in authentic leadership, people misinterpret this and say, it's all about me. Okay, no, it's not all about you. It's all about the organization and about you as a leader uplifting everybody. Certainly feel free to share whatever you think you need to do to motivate people. Know yourself. That's a huge thing. And I want you to do that in the aspect of the self-reflection as to what your style is. Develop your own style. Don't copy the things here, but listen to them and see where you fit. Have a lot of self-discipline around your values and have a strong positive self-evaluation. There's a lot of limitation. There is no universal approach to all this. I gave you 8 attributes, and you're going to be able to filter those 8 attributes in your own personality, your own style, your own values, your own ethics. Different combinations could be equally good, and leadership within a person, whereas leadership really is relational, because I've had situations where I've had people, we had a celebration party and 30 of them were saluting, and a couple of them weren't because I hadn't done anything for them. It just depends what's going on with that person. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, it simply isn't enough. You can't win every single heart over. Link between the attributes of effective leadership and the attributes is a lot of times muddled by the situation, the environmental factors, different things that are out there, and attributes only indicate the potential. You also have societal, cultural values and practices. You have gender issues in leadership as well. Women use a lot more participative leadership, which I think is a better model than a lot of men. That is one differences between men and women. Women perform better in emerging leadership, and they're more nurturing in that aspect of it than men usually are, but men are becoming much better in areas like this. But overall, make certain that regardless of your gender, that you treat everybody with dignity and respect. Here are the attributes of leadership we talked about here: personality, self-concept of all things. You have to give the image that you are confident in what you're doing. And when crisis hits, people are looking for you for a safe haven, and you have to project that even if on the inside you're quaking and terribly afraid. Motivation, drive, integrity, know your business. You should be an expert leader as well. Make certain you practice practical intelligence and have some emotional intelligence. And authentic leadership, be yourself, but it's still not all about you. Attributes of leadership, they're developed, focus in on it, have the confidence that people will look to in stormy times, that you can project that calm leadership on the inside, and rest assured the people that are around you that you know what you're doing and you're guiding them with a intelligent trust hand that they can trust for success. Take care.